I've been sitting here for a few days now, struggling a bit. I like I said in my Royal Rumble thoughts video, I thought we were safe. I thought it was safe. But it took WWE a week to take the fears that I had lost at the Royal Rumble and shove them back in with fucking with a fucking battering ram. For those of you who are unaware of what I'm talking about, in my Royal Rumble thoughts video, I said that I was happy with the fact that Charlotte Flair was eliminated from the Women's Royal Rumble. And I was happy that Brock Lesnar lost the WWE Championship. Him winning the Royal Rumble was not a good thing, but I was happy, but I was okay with it because you know what? Fine. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar is set in stone. It's going to happen. I don't particularly care for it, but all right, it's happening. Meanwhile, we can figure out what to do with WWE champion, with Bobby Lashley in the WWE Championship afterwards. The very next night on Raw, they announced an elimination chamber for the WWE Championship. Now, we already knew that pay-per-view was going to happen next. However, in said chamber match is Brock Lesnar. And also announced on the show, Lita is challenging Becky Lynch, even though she had a feud going with Charlotte. And then on SmackDown, Ronda Rousey, the winner of the Women's Rumble, has announced that she's facing Charlotte. So when I thought all my fears were nothing, like, hey, Charlotte didn't win the Rumble, so she can't challenge Becky Lynch. Ronda Rousey's won the Rumble, so she's challenging Becky at Mania or something like that. Brock Lesnar lost the WWE Championship, so now when he faces Roman at WrestleMania, it's him versus Roman for the Universal title, while the WWE title is safe and sound around Bobby Lashley's waist. And will he lose it beforehand? Maybe, but not to Brock Lesnar. Certainly not to Brock Lesnar, right? Right? I must come off as a bit dramatic here, but let me make it perfectly clear for you. I hate this. I hate this with a burning passion. This is not a good thing. This is a bad thing, what they're doing right now. They seem to be teasing heavily, especially with Paul Heyman's promo on SmackDown, saying that, oh, you're not going to get your title versus title match. And he's saying it like it was something we wanted. Now, I know some people do. But I have to ask those people, why? The prestige? Or do you simply want to kill the brand split? And in that case, I have to ask why. What benefit would it be? I mentioned this before, but I keep asking the same question over and over and over again, and I need an answer. Why? What benefit is there to doing this? Did none of you see the programming from 2013 till 16? Did none of you pay attention to how badly the things got? To the point where WWE realized, no, this is a bad idea, we need to go back to the brand split. New title, new world title, sure, hell, whatever, but we need to go back to it. It's a bad idea. It's not a good idea here to do this. And why does Brock versus Roman need 2 world titles? We don't need that. Hell, we don't even need one. Why not just do a one-on-one match with them? If you need the Universal title, fine. If you don't want to have Roman lose that title, fine. I'll take it. It's fine. Just don't put both titles on the line. No, I'll take it. Hell, genuinely, genuinely, they just announced Roman Reigns versus Goldberg at Elimination Chamber for the Universal title. Goldberg wins. I'd be okay with it. Genuinely, I would be. I'd be okay if Goldberg wins and Brock Lesnar wins the Elimination Chamber. If that happens, fine. I'm okay with it. I'm genuinely okay with it. As long as it's just one title. Just one. Of course, that's not exactly how it would work, though, because Brock won the Rumble, but still. I don't like this. I really don't like this, because, again, I've said for years, and I keep maintaining it, and now I've actually gone to the point where I said at one point that killing the brand split will only cause more problems than it would solve. But here's a question. But these days, I'm starting to just look at it and I'm thinking, what problems would it actually solve? Like, genuinely, what would it solve? The only thing I can think of is, well, the tag division is so strained that maybe only having one set of tag belts makes more sense because we barely have any teams as it is. But the answer there isn't to isn't to take away those titles. It's to make more teams, focus more on tag team wrestling. But of course, WWE doesn't do that because Vince McMahon hates tag teams. But why is that a thing? Why do you guys think that that's the solution? It won't change a fucking thing. All it will change is that we have one less set of belts, and that's it. That's it. The problems with the tag division will still be prevalent. The problems with people not getting times to shine will be amplified. The problem with certain women, some people that, in some rising stars in the women's division not getting point won't change. In fact, it will get amplified if you only have one women's title. If you only have one, what happens to people like Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair or Naomi when you have to have Becky and Charlotte and Bayley and Sasha all tying up the women's division with the occasional Ronda Rousey in there or something? Rhea Ripley, she held the title for a little bit, but then again went back to Charlotte, and we haven't looked back since. At least when there were 2 belts, even if Charlotte or Becky had a stranglehold on one title, the other one could go to someone who you could build a little bit on. I know that recently we've had both of them hold the titles, but at least there was some variety in opponents, there was variety in different people. You had 2 championships that you could work with. You had 2 championships. And so at least if one division didn't do it for you, you at least had the other one to work with. Same thing with the world title. Imagine for a second that we only had Roman Reigns as the world champion. Imagine that. If people are getting sick of him now, imagine what would happen if we didn't have the other world title. You might be saying, oh, use the mid-card title. Do you honestly believe WWE would treat it any differently than they are now? Some people forget that Shinsuke Nakamura is the current Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, that was a thing during the non-brand split era last time too. It won't solve anything. In fact, it will amplify several problems with WWE right now. No, it will cause nothing but issues to end the brand split and merge the championship. It's a bad idea. And I know, me yelling about it, it's not going to do a damn thing. I know that. But I'm putting my foot down now. I have lost a lot of interest with WWE as of recently. That's just a fact. However, WrestleMania right now doesn't matter to me. What matters to me right now is the Elimination Chamber. I'm not going to be watching it. I've already cancelled my subscription to to the networks. Like, to me, the Rumble was a one and done. I feel like I've wasted my money there. But here's the line I'm drawing, WWE, and you better keep this in mind. This is it. When we get out of Elimination Chamber, Brock Lesnar will not be holding a championship. Roman Reigns could hold a championship. Don't care which one. Don't care which one. Don't care how. But Brock Lesnar needs to be a challenger only. Meanwhile, someone else is holding the other world title. Someone who isn't involved in the Brock Roman storyline. If Lita were to win the Raw Women's title, her and Becky could have a rematch, or you can bring in Bianca Belair or someone from Raw to challenge her. Meanwhile, Ronda and Charlotte are going at it at WrestleMania itself. No overlap, no nothing. And I recently heard in the news video that both Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar are pushing for this world title versus title match. So I'll send this message directly to Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want the product to get much worse than it already is. Please stop. Vince, stop. Everyone in WWE, stop that. I will gladly watch 15 matches with Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar after this. Happily. I'll spend money at WrestleMania. I'll subscribe to the network for an entire year. No stop. All the money drained. But as long as you do not do any more bullshit that could lead to the end of the brand split. The brand split needs to stay intact. If you try to kill it, basically, it's all on that. If you do this stupid fucking title versus title match, I'm out. I'm out, not just of WWE, but of everything. Because I can't look at wrestling anymore. Because even if I were to switch entirely over to AEW, if I were to listen to someone discuss WWE, were to discuss AEW, they would probably make a reference to WWE. And I don't want to be reminded of WWE and of their bullshit. I know this seems weird, but the brand split... in 2013, when they first unified the world titles, I was screaming day one. In fact, I was screaming before that, don't do this. Or bring back the brand split. Bring back a second world title. Do not continue with this crap. I've been screaming about this for years, and I'm still of the opinion. Hell, I remember I made a video a long time ago, and it's probably unwatchable these days because of my terrible camera, that I was screaming my head off to bring back the brand split. In the months leading up to the draft, in the 2016 revival of the brand split, I was ecstatic to see it return, and now I'm fearing more than anything that it's going to be destroyed. Because to me, it's a force for good. And ending it won't solve anything. It will only create more problems. Anyone who's talking positively about, I don't see it. Because I've lived through it. I saw what happened last time they tried to do this. It was a disaster. It was awful. I hated every second of it. And I don't want any more of it. For those of you who are sick of Roman Reigns as world champion, imagine if he was the only one. Now imagine if he was like Brock Lesnar, where he takes the championship and runs away with it, like he did with the Universal title, or the WWE title, like he did in 2015, or 14, whatever. Whatever. And that was the only world title. And he just ran off with it. It's not there. You have no world title now. You went from 2 to none, thanks to Brock Lesnar. And now if you're sick and tired of seeing Roman Reigns at the top of the mountain, well, you don't have an alternative. Other than switching shows to AEW. And well, yeah. I don't exactly know how to end this video, but to me, I couldn't sit back and just continue with it. I had to get this off my chest. It's going to come off as rambly. It's going to come off as weird, but ending the brand split is a terrible idea. Do not do this, WWE. Do not do this. Have Brock lose at Elimination Chamber. That's all I need. Just have Brock lose. I don't care who else. Care if anyone else wins the Chamber. Bobby, Seth, Riddle, Austin Theory, whatever. Any of them.